Hello and welcome to the your English News Bulletin. I'm Esther. These are the headlines. Under the aegis of Samagra Shriksha Nagaland, the Nagaland Education Mission Society on June 3rd, Thursday, announced tablets for classes 8 to 12 students studying in government schools in Kifre district. The Supreme Court on Thursday quashed an FIR against journalist Vinod Dua, who was booked for sedition over his YouTube show, and granted him relief. Approximately 10,000 of 80,000 planned Tokyo 2020 Olympic volunteers have quit, organizers have revealed, as they battle persistent doubts over the Games with just 50 days until the opening ceremony. Now for the news in details. In an unfortunate and mysterious case, an elderly couple from Wokha who had come to Dimapur to visit their son went missing on May 31st. The husband was found on June 1st in a disoriented state in the jungle of New Shouba, while the wife, 78 years old, was not traceable till this morning. Later, her body was reportedly recovered in the deep, dense forest of the area. A reliable source informed Hornbilltv that the couple went for a walk on the evening of May 31st from their son's house and never returned. The Women Police Station set up a search party along with family and residents of the area, and it was informed that the husband was found by some hunters in a disoriented state. In what is more strange is that the body of the elderly woman was found in a cut-off area of the jungle which was not easily accessible, the source informed. Her mortal remains is informed to be taken to her native village. The Confederation of Nagaland Chamber of Commerce and Industry has raised a number of concerns regarding the implementation of the lockdown in Nagaland, which the group said was imposed without working out details. The CNCCI issued on June 3rd a statement listing out a number of complaints that the organization said the Nagaland government should address.
The CNCCI stated that the imposition of the lockdown has no doubt flattened the curve and has done well, especially in Dimapur and Kohima. However, it stated that the state government imposed the lockdown without working out details, and implementing the lockdown haphazardly has only done damage to the state's economy. The CNCCI remarked whether or not the state government had not learned from the previous lockdown to implement lockdowns in a more organized and systemized way. The CNCCI also complained of harassment allegedly meted out to essential service providers and vehicles on duty by law enforcing agencies and volunteers. It has deeply hurt the sentiments of the business community, the CNCCI said, and demanded the government intervene and stop all forms of harassment. Further, the organization stated that the imposition of odd and even system in Dimapur on essential service vehicle and imposing fine on those vehicles is totally uncalled for. It is time to jointly fight the pandemic rather than collect fines and harass the essential service providers who are on ground braving the pandemic to feed the public, the CNCCI stated. The CNCCI requested the law enforcing agencies to immediately stop harassing and do away with odd-even system and imposition of fine on essential duty vehicles. In this connection, the CNCCI would have no choice but direct the DCCI and its affiliated business bodies to stop essential service if the system is not done away with immediate effect, the CNCCI read. The organization also noted that the government may have exempted construction activities from lockdown as it supports thousands of daily wage earners, and also not to hold development activities in the state. However, the CNCCI stated the government failed to address the support system that will help the construction activities afloat. The closing down of hardware shops, garages, spare parts shops, etc. has made the exemption a mockery, the CNCCI stated. The CNCCI has demanded that the mentioned category be allowed to open immediately so that the construction activities can resume. In the case of Dimapur, the CNCCI suggested that under the Dimapur municipal areas, the mentioned shops should be allowed to open on odd and even numbers, and the stretch from Purana Bazaar to Chumukitima should be allowed to open. The CNCCI asserted that the shops located on the stretch are far apart from each other and has enough space to maintain SOP. The CNCCI has appealed to the state government to immediately act on the suggestions with utmost seriousness and urgency.
Under the aegis of Samagra Shriksha Nagaland, the Nagaland Education Mission Society on June 3rd announced tablets for classes 8 to the 12th, students studying in government schools in Kifre district. The project was launched virtually by KT Sukhalu, advisor to the Nagaland School Education Department.
Sukhalu was appreciative of the Samagra Shriksha of Nagaland for initiating the facility for students during the pandemic. He sought support and cooperation of teachers and parents for the success of this project. Sukhalu also stressed on the need to extend the facility to Noklak district too. He said that the state government will pursue the central government to extend such facilities to the remaining districts in phases. The Nagaland's government will distribute free tablets to students of class 8 to 12 who are currently pursuing their studies in government schools in Kifre district. This will facilitate digital education during COVID-19 pandemic. Digital books and other information can be accessed at home even without internet connection. The tablets that will be distributed have digital books as preloaded content as well as various tests, videos and other materials which will be as per the courses of the government schools. Temsinaro Iyer, State Mission Director for Samagra Shriksha Nagaland, said that tablets will be provided to all class 8 to 12 students enrolled in government schools during 2021 to 2022 in Kifre district. The tablets are loaded with video lessons as per NBSE textbooks of 5 core subjects for every class such as mathematics, science, social science, English and alternative English for class 8 to 10 and history, political science, English, education and sociology for class 11 and 12, which students can easily access without SIM card or internet. The preloaded learning contents in the tablets have been examined and approved by the subject experts of Nagaland Board of School Education. Tablets are easy to operate and it will enable the students to view high-quality lessons anytime they want till they understand the lesson, she said, adding that the devices will be distributed in 2 phases. In the first phase, tablets for class 8 to 10 section numbering 1097 will be distributed to students immediately. Class 11 and 12 students will be provided in a few weeks' time as per the enrollment of 2021 to 2022 updates informed. Prior to the distribution of tablets to students, subject teachers will be given an orientation through virtual mode with the support of bright TUTEE officials from New Delhi on the features and detailed preloaded learning contents in the tablets. They will guide the students on how to use the tablets, updates stated. She said that the tablets in Kifre have been introduced to improve and create better learning outcomes in students and improve retention rate and enrollment of students in government schools besides reducing dropout rates. PP Gupta, Director at the Ministry of Human Resource Development, said that due to the pandemic, students could not access education directly from teachers. Nonetheless, he expressed optimism that the tablets which come with preloaded content can help students in Nagaland immensely.
The district administration of Mokokchung and Mokokchung police have announced free ambulance services for COVID-19 related users in Mokokchung. The ambulance service will provide free services to needy patients looking for emergency transportation from home to the COVID-19 hospital and vice versa in Mokokchung. Nodal Officer and Subdivision Officer Civil of Mokokchung, Sintilong Uzukam, stated that Mokokchung has been witnessing COVID-19 casualty because many patients often stay at home with COVID-19 symptoms. The free ambulance service shall be limited to Mokokchung municipality and adjoining areas. The helpline number is 9362 561926. Manipur reported another fresh case of black fungus or mucormycosis, taking such new cases to 3.
The new case was detected yesterday from a 37-year-old woman from Bishnupur district undergoing treatment at a private hospital in Imphal, Raj Medicity, where COVID-19 treatment facilities are also provided. Out of the 3 cases detected so far in Manipur, one 46-year-old man expired yesterday. 2 are currently undergoing treatment. The state health authorities stated that all hospitals, health centers or clinics are reminded to report such cases, failing which may attract actions. Meanwhile, in the past 24 hours, the northeast border state recorded 728 new COVID-19 positive cases, taking the state's total infection tally to 52,278, besides increasing the total number of active cases to 9,035. On the other hand, the state reported fatalities of another 14 COVID-19 patients, taking the state's COVID-19 death toll to 839. with 622 recoveries in the past 24 hours. So far, 42,404 persons have recovered. The recovery rate stands at 81.11%.
The Supreme Court on Thursday quashed an FIR against journalist Vinod Dua, who was booked for sedition over his YouTube show, and granted him relief.
The Supreme Court said that every journalist is entitled to protection. Any detention or FIR is subject to the law laid down earlier. However, the court declined to order the setting up of a committee to review any complaints of sedition against journalists. The Supreme Court bench of Justices UU Lalit and Vinit Saran, however, declined the prayer of Vinod Dua that no FIR can be registered against any media personnel with 10 years experience unless cleared by a committee. On July 20 last year, the Supreme Court had extended till further orders the protection granted to Vinod Dua from any coercive action in the case. The court had earlier said that Vinod Dua need not answer any other supplementary questions asked by the Himachal Pradesh police in connection with the sedition case. An FIR against Vinod Dua under provisions of the Indian Penal Code for alleged offences of sedition, public nuisance, printing defamatory materials and public mischief was lodged by BJP leader Shyam at Kumarsian police station in Shimla district on May 6 last year, and the journalist was asked to join the probe. Shyam had alleged that Vinod Dua in his YouTube show had made some allegations against the Prime Minister.
The Delhi High Court on Thursday issued summons to yoga guru Ramdev on a suit by Delhi Medical Association seeking to restrain him from disseminating false information about Patanjali's Coronil kit that it is a cure for COVID-19.
The High Court orally asked the counsel for Ramdev to tell him not to make any proactive statement till the next date of hearing on July 13th and respond to the suit. DMA on behalf of its doctor members said Ramdev's statement affects as the medicine does not cure coronavirus and it is misleading.
Calling an unprecedented, disturbing and a disregard for rules, former top bureaucrats on Tuesday criticized the centre's actions in the case of former West Bengal Chief Secretary Alapan Bandyopadhyay.
Former Cabinet Secretary B.K. Chaturvedi, former Secretary of DOPT Satyanath Mishra, and former Home Secretary G.K. Pillai reportedly told the Indian Express that the episode sets a bad precedent and would demotivate civil servants. This is perhaps the first time in the history of independent India that a secretary-level officer is being posted at the centre one day before retirement, Pillai said. The order is totally irregular, and to say that a secretary-level officer must report to Delhi by 10 a.m. on a particular day is just unheard of, Pillai said. The joining time is normally 6 days plus travelling time for all bureaucrats, and that the DOPT secretary agreed to issue such an order says a lot about the states Indian bureaucracy is in, Pillai said. Bandyopadhyay finds himself caught in a tussle between the Narendra Modi and Mamata Banerjee governments since the Chief Minister chose to skip a review meeting over Cyclone Yas held by the Prime Minister. In the latest order, the Ministry of Home Affairs Monday slapped a show cause notice on Bandyopadhyay under the Disaster Management Act for arriving 15 minutes late for the PM's meeting.
Patna's All India Institute of Medical Sciences has started the pediatric trials for the COVID-19 vaccine manufactured by the Bharat Biotech Covaxin.
Covaxin received the Drugs Controller General of India nod to conduct clinical trials in children on May 11th. VK Paul member Niti Aayog had earlier said Covaxin has been approved by the Drugs Controller General of India for Phase 2 and 3 clinical trials in the age group of 2 to 18 years. India started the world's largest vaccination drive on January 16 this year in a phased manner with healthcare workers getting inoculated first. The vaccination of frontline workers started on February 2nd. The next phase of COVID-19 vaccination commenced from March 1st for those over 60 years of age and for people aged 45 and above with specified comorbid conditions. India launched vaccination for all people aged more than 45 from April 1st. The third phase of vaccination started on May 1st for the beneficiary aged between 18 to 44 years. India has 3 COVID-19 vaccines, Bharat Biotech's Covaxin, Serum Institute's Covishield and Russia's Sputnik V. Covaxin and Covishield are being manufactured in India.
BJP leader Narayan Singh Bhadoria from Uttar Pradesh has been removed from his post as Kanpur South president after he helped a wanted criminal escape arrest.
The party in a letter said that taking cognizance of the incident that occurred on June 2, BJP Kanpur South President Narayan Singh Bhaturia has been relieved of his duties with immediate effect. A 3-member team from the district has been constituted, which will submit a probe report into the incident within 24 hours, it stated. This report will be shared with the party's regional and state organization, it stated. The criminal who Bhadurai helped has been identified as Manoj Singh. He faces more than a dozen criminal cases, including that of murder, extortion, and rape. The incident happened on June 2nd, when the criminal was arrested by the police from a pan shop. A birthday party of the BJP leader was also taking place in that place, of which Manoj was a part. When the police finally arrested the criminal, the BJP leader, along with his supporters, clashed with the police when they refused to release the criminal. Following this, one of the supporters allegedly helped the criminal escape from the police jeep. The police also have videos of the incident based on which a case has been filed against the leader.
Approximately 10,000 of 80,000 planned Tokyo 2020 Olympic volunteers have quit, organizers have revealed as they battle persistent doubts over the games with just 50 days until the opening ceremony.
Tokyo 2020 chief Sheiko Hashimoto ruled out a further postponement of the games, speaking to a Japan sports paper, and said the cancellation would only happen in catastrophic circumstances such as most delegations not being able to come to Japan. Organizers will later Thursday mark 50 days to go when they unveil details about the medal ceremonies, in the latest attempt to build public enthusiasm, despite polls showing most people in Japan want the games delayed or cancelled. Japan is battling the 4th wave of coronavirus infections, with Tokyo and several other parts of the country under a state of emergency due to last until a month before the games. On Wednesday night, Tokyo 2020 CEO Toshiro Muto told local media that around 10,000 volunteers who are vital to smooth running of the massive event have quit, largely over coronavirus concerns. Others dropped out after the games were postponed by a year, or in protest over sexist remarks made by Hashimoto's predecessors, who was forced to resign. Some of the volunteers are likely also to be among the approximately 80% of people in Japan who oppose hosting the games this year, according to opinion polls. But surveys among the population of Tokyo have found a more even split between those in favor and opposed to holding the games. Muto said that reduction in volunteers would not affect the running of the games because the event has been scaled back, so fewer people are needed.
Punjab National Bank scam accused Mehul Choksi's bail plea has been dismissed by a court in Dominica. Earlier, the fugitive diamantaire was produced before a magistrate in Dominica to answer charges of his illegal entry into the Caribbean island nation following a High Court order.
The High Court of Dominica ordered that the businessman be produced in the magistrate court to answer charges of his illegal entry into the country and adjourned the hearing on the habeas corpus petition till June 3rd, according to local media. The diamantaire, who mysteriously went missing on May 23rd from Antigua and Barbuda, where he had been staying since 2018 as a citizen, was detained in a neighboring Dominica for illegal entry after a possible romantic escapade with his rumored girlfriend. His lawyers alleged that he was kidnapped from Jolly Harbor in Antigua by policemen looking like Antiguan and Indian and brought to Dominica on a boat. Last week, the government of Dominica had issued a press statement that it was verifying status of Choksi's citizenship with Antigua and Barbuda. Choksi's arrest has created turbulence in the calm political waters of the neighboring Caribbean island countries, Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica, where allegations have been leveled against opposition parties of supporting the businessman having an Interpol red notice against him. Choksi and his nephew Nirav Modi are wanted for allegedly siphoning Rs 13,500 crore of public money from the state-run Punjab National Bank using letters of undertaking. While Modi is in a London prison after being repeatedly denied bail and is contesting his extradition to India, Choksi took citizenship of Antigua and Barbuda in 2017 using the Citizenship by Investment program before fleeing India in the first week of January 2018. The scam came to light subsequently.
That's all for tonight's English News Bulletin. I'm Esther. Keep watching Hornbill TV.